Hello everyone, Chaos here, and welcome to another old school RuneScape video. Guys, the revolution of the runecrafting skill is upon us thanks to the Guardians of the Rift update, and I'm here to tell you how to do fairly efficiently at it for you to obtain all of the rewards one can get from this brand new and wonderful activity. If you're new around here, consider subscribing with notifications on, as I'll be covering both the minigame and all of the items related to it to show you guys how they will change runecrafting for the better. You can also join our Discord to keep up with livestream and the brand new uploads. The only disclaimer I have for you guys is that this guide will mostly cover the activity in mass worlds, since strategies for small teams or solo players are yet to be seen, as pretty much every world is just full to the brim. So make sure to tell me in the comments if you would like to see a solo guide in the future, if that's even possible. Also, as you can see, this video is going to be fairly long, so if you need specific information, feel free to use the chapters in the video player and in the description below, as I want to give you as much information as possible for you to succeed and to not get shafted by bad teams. So, let's begin. First and most importantly, what is Guardians of the Rift? This is a brand new runecrafting activity similar to what Winter Toad is for firemaking and the Tempo Ross is for fishing. The only difference is that instead of damaging a scaling boss, you are protecting a Great Guardian in the middle of the arena. So you can think of this minigame as pest control, but with runecrafting instead of combat. You can get there by traveling to the Wizard's Tower, going to the basement, and finally entering the portal next to Wizard Trayborn. There are many ways to get to the Wizard's Tower, so I will leave that up to you guys. There's also a bank there just in case you forgot something, or in case you want to bank your loot and getting ready for the next game. Let's continue with the most important part of pretty much any activity, which are the requirements. To access Guardians of the Rift, you will need completion of the Temple of the Eye quest. This requires completion of Enter the Abyss mini quest as well as level 10 runecrafting. The Temple of the Eye also works as a very basic tutorial for Guardians of the Rift, so if you did the quest and you're watching this guide, I have a good idea as to what you were doing during the quest. Anyway, jokes aside, in order to even attempt this new challenge, you will need level 27 runecrafting. In just a second, you will see why it kinda makes sense for you to be able to enter this area with this level instead of the 10 runecrafting required to start the quest, so we'll see that in just a little bit. So this is what you need to enter the Temple of the Eye. But in order to have a better time here, let's look at your gear, inventory, and other suggestions I have for you. The only thing you really need on you is a pickaxe. The higher the tier, the better, of course. I also recommend the Varrock armor since apparently the double mining effect works here just like it does when mining ores. The best cape to wear is a runecrafting cape, but let's be honest, only masochists will do this beyond level 99. Other than that, a mining cape is also recommended for that small chance at extra ores mined, which again, technically not mining ores, but it still works here for some odd reason. I personally take the graceful pieces and an endurance ring, but to be quite honest, the run energy is not a huge issue here. The best shield item to wear here is the Abyssal Lantern, which is one of the rewards and we'll cover it at the end. If you don't have it, the shield slot isn't really necessary. Finally, a Celestial Ring, either charged or uncharged, is also pretty good, as well as an Elven Signet if you are using a Crystal Pickaxe. Obviously, a Celestial Signet will be just as useful under the right circumstances. For your inventory, take as many essence pouches as you are able to use according to your runecrafting level, as well as a chisel. If you don't have the runecrafting cape, a max cape, or even an Abyssal Lantern, it's pretty much mandatory for you to be in the Lunar Spellbook and have a rune pouch with Astral, Cosmic, and Air runes. You can get Cosmic and Air runes from the activity itself, so only take a small amount with you to begin with. Now that the gear is set, let's get to work. Once the minigame starts, you win by either getting the Great Guardian in the middle to 100% energy to seal the Abyssal Rift, or you will lose if he reaches 0% energy by letting all of the Abyssal creatures attack it. But how do we do this? I will guide you through a pretty standard run on a mass world, and I will explain all of the mechanics as we get to them. Enter the Temple of the Eye and grab 10 uncharged cells from this table. Depending on how you start this round, you should also grab a weak cell from the table directly south. There are 3 ways to start the minigame. If you are a decent human being, use your weak cell on these floor markings to create a barrier. The second option is to make a weak Rift Guardian near the tables and have them advance towards the Abyssal Rift at the beginning of the game. However, if you are a greedy degenerate such as myself, you're gonna start by mining essence either on the main area or by using the shortcut to get down here and mine it much faster. Keep in mind that you need 56 agility to do this. Phase 1 is literally just a preparation phase, where you will be able to set up barriers, craft the Rift Guardians, and finally start mining essence to prepare for battle. This will take about 2 minutes, and it's important to note that you can only have 10 Rift Guardians active at any given point. After this short period, Phase 2 will start and abyssal creatures will begin spawning north of the arena. At this point, 2 important things will happen. 2 runecrafting portals will open randomly, and small portals scattered through the arena will open from time to time to take you to another part of the map to mine huge Guardian remains, but more about that in a little bit. If you notice the pillars shining differently, it means that they are active and that you can go inside it just the way you do when entering a runecrafting altar in the main world. Once you have your fragments, go to the western table and start imbuing them one by one, filling up your pouches with essence whenever you run out of space. When loaded, enter either a catalytic or an elemental portal in order to go to a runecrafting altar, charge your imbued essence, and then return to the arena. You will sometimes get talismans for the altar you just used. When in your inventory, you can access that altar whenever you want, even if it's not active. This is pretty useful if you are looking for a specific type of rune. It is incredibly important to mention that with this update, the delay when using runecrafting altars is now completely gone, and you can basically empty pouches as soon as you click on the altar, making this skill a lot faster to train now. So practice those clicks and empty your pouches like a lightning bolt in order to get even more experience not only in this minigame, but also when training traditionally. Now, do you remember the other type of portals I mentioned? These will spawn in intervals of around 2 and 2.5 minutes when the game starts, and it will take you to an otherwise inaccessible part of the arena. When you mine at these locations, instead of fragments, you will get full-on imbued essence, skipping the need to actually make them at the table, saving you loads of time. These portals can be active for about 25 seconds, so make sure to time them right. Okay, now, do you notice these elemental and catalytic counters on the top left of your screen? Once outside, click on the Great Guardian in the middle to charge him up. You will get 2 points for each charged essence you just created. Depending on what type of rune you crafted, you will get either elemental or catalytic energy. As the name suggests, you get elemental energy by offering essence obtained from the air, water, earth, and fire altars. Catalytic is basically everything else, like body, nature, blood, and so on. These points will be crucial for the rewards, but again, more about that when we get to the end of the game. However, we're missing something important. Did you notice something else when charging essence? One of your uncharged cells will power up according to the altar you just used. Cells can be weak, medium, strong, and finally overcharged, and you're seeing what altar has what effect on screen right now. With these cells, you can do the same thing we did at the beginning, only slightly different. When using a charged cell on barriers, you can either heal or upgrade them. The upgrade process has a specific order, and it is the one we just mentioned. Barriers must go from weak to medium to strong and finally overcharged. The order of colors on the floor is black when broken, white when weak, blue when medium, green when strong, and finally red when overcharged. If you use a cell on a barrier not following that order, you will heal it instead. So for you not to waste it, make sure to use them in the correct order. Once overcharged, any cell will heal the barrier for a set amount. When it comes to creating Rift Guardians, this is completely thrown out the window, and you can use an overcharged cell right away in order to create an overpowered big boy to fend off against the abyssal rats. There's no need to upgrade them in that order like the barriers. They will eventually die, and you can just summon a new one in the initial spot. Just don't be a fucking griefer, and don't summon a weak Rift Guardian towards the end of the game. Alright, that was a mouthful for Phase 2. Luckily, Phase 3 is basically the same thing, only a little more hectic. More powerful abyssal creatures will start spawning, but as long as you heal the barrier, summon guardians, and keep charging the Great Guardian in the middle, it's literally just a matter of time for him to close the portal and finish the game. Once done, you will gain elemental and catalytic points according to your performance. It's about 1 point per 100 energy, but sometimes I get more for some weird reason even before I got my Abyssal Lantern. Because of this, you have 2 options. You can balance out the energy every game, so for example, alternate between elemental and catalytic runes every time you go ahead and craft them, or you can fully focus on one type of rune for one game and then on the other type of rune for the next one. This is important because in order to get loot from this minigame, you need 1 of each point to loot the reward guardian near the entrance. You can think of this system like the Temporos reward permits, only you need 1 of each point per roll at the loot table. Once done, bank your goodies, and get back in there because, quite frankly, you're looking for any excuse not to do traditional runecrafting, and you will get 99 doing this amazing activity. Alright, so to summarize everything we just learned, I'm going to quickly guide you through my personal strategy. Now, obviously this is going to be rather quick as we already learned all of the mechanics in depth, so let's go. I grab 10 uncharged cells, and since I am a greedy degenerate, I start in this part of the arena and use my dragon pickaxe special as soon as the timer starts. Because of my Varrock armor and the maxscape, I stop mining when I have 250 or 260 fragments. You'll have to find your own sweet spot, by the way. This gives me enough time to get back into the arena for a portal to spawn when I am running towards the middle. I click on it and get to this area to mine huge guardian remains for a full inventory of essence. Get back to the main arena, and this is where I choose what altar to go to first for points. If you're looking for experience, obviously choose the highest rune out of the two. Anyway, after entering the altar and imbuing my essence, I walk back outside and feed the Great Guardian as well as using my charged battery wherever it's best. If I get a weak, medium, or strong one, I place it accordingly to upgrade the barriers, and if I get an overcharged one, I keep it to summon a big guardian when I am near the entrance. After that, I go to the crafting bench to make essence out of my fragments and then repeat the process going to the other type of altar to imbue essence and balancing out my points. Come back out, feed the guardian, look at where to use my battery, and at this point a new portal should almost be ready. So wait for it and head through it to mine the huge guardian remains. At this point, it's literally rinse and repeat and wait for the Guardian to reach 100% energy, and I personally don't use the talismans too often, but they can be used strategically according to what type of rune you're looking for. When the game is over, I just stay inside, otherwise at this time the world might fill up and I'll have to hop around peeking through the barrier to see when a new game is about to begin. All your points are stacked up, so no need to worry if you leave. Whenever you finish a session, I use all my hard-earned points and see if I get lucky at any of the uniques. Before we get into the rewards, let's talk about experience and money per hour. Just like Wintertoad and Temperos, this scales based on your level. According to Jagex, at level 27 you'll get around 20,000 experience per hour, and at higher levels, presumably 99, you will get about 60,000 experience per hour. I was averaging about 50,000 experience per hour because honestly, I was not really aiming for the best rune I could make, but if I go the sweaty route, I'm pretty sure I could hit very similar numbers. As of the time of making this video, people are already brainstorming how to use combination runes on the minigame for more experience and money per hour, but this post was published around 2 hours ago and it's something I would have to test further, so please let me know in the comment if you would like to see that as well. As for profit, Jagex claims that this method will yield about 400 to 500,000 GP per hour, but honestly there's just so many variables to it that I wouldn't really trust it that much. What type of rune are you crafting? Does it include loot you get from the reward guardian? Do you have the level required to craft multiple runes? And most importantly, with this update, the price of runes is going to crash massively for the foreseeable future. So it's just better for you to keep track of how many runes you have before starting in order to track your profit and see how much money you make based on your strategy. I know it's not really helpful, me telling you, okay, so just track it yourself, but quite frankly at this point, it's gonna depend a lot on what you do, so yeah, I think you're better off doing that, to be quite honest. Alright, when it comes to the rewards, we have many of them. From the reward guardian itself, the most interesting things to get are Abyssal Pearls, the Catalytic Talisman, the Abyssal Lantern, the Abyssal Needle, red, green, and blue Abyssal Dice, an intricate pouch, and finally the pet. There's an item called Atlak's Diary, but it's pretty much lore, so you can toss it in the garbage. The Abyssal Pearls are this minigame's currency and can be used to purchase items from the person next to the chest. You can buy 4 pieces of the rune crafting outfit for up to a 60% chance of crafting multiple runes when wearing the full outfit, the Ring of the Elements, which will teleport you near the elemental rune crafting altars, the Guardian's Eye, which is a transmog item for the rune crafting pet, which I don't yet have and I'm super depressed about it. And finally, all of the talismans in the game, including the brand new Blood Talisman. The Catalytic Talisman is basically like an elemental talisman and will grant you access to all of the catalytic rune crafting altars. You can craft a catalytic tiara out of this talisman and a gold bar to have this effect on your head slot. The Abyssal Lantern will give you passive benefits in the minigame itself when you load 6 logs of a certain type on it and light it up. You're seeing those effects on screen right now. Since I don't care about talisman or runes, I choose U-logs for more reward points at the end. If you don't have rune crafting or maxscape, I highly suggest going for the redwood log effect, as your pouches will no longer degrade in the minigame, saving you loads of time as opposed to using the NPC contact spell every now and then. The Abyssal Needle is probably the most disgusting item from this activity, and using it on any of the 4 essence pouches in your inventory will combine all of them to create the Colossal Pouch, which will allow you to hold 40 essence in a single inventory slot as opposed to the 30 essence you were able to hold when taking all of the 4 previous pouches with you. This, along with the removal of the runecrafting delay, will single-handedly shift the entire meta and experience per hour as we knew it, and I'm super excited to test it as soon as you get it. The Abyssal dice are just for you to paint your runecrafting outfit robes a different color. I don't know about you guys, but I'm going for the full red outfit. An intricate pouch is just like a little reward box and has a chance of giving you a random item from the list you are seeing on screen right now. A little underwhelming, but hey, what can you do about it? Last and definitely not least, we have the pet, which is called the Abyssal Protector. Normally, I like everything related to runecrafting, but man, this one is just a bit weird, especially when you compare it to the Great Guardian Transmog. I'm not gonna complain if I get it, but yeah, this one looks rather peculiar. Ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed and that this new minigame helps you enjoy runecrafting as much as I do. I want to give a massive thank you to all my channel members. You guys are absolute machines. You have no idea how much I appreciate you, and I really hope you enjoy what you are funding in terms of videos and live streams. If you would like to monetarily support this channel, go ahead and click the join button below to see what kind of cool perks you can get out of your monetary pledge. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I will be live streaming this every single day until I unlock all of the rewards to make even more content on this amazing update. I hope to catch you guys online. You have a great rest of the week, and I'll see you then. Peace.